I'm East Coast Pete. This is The Fall. They're an English post-punk band from Manchester. Mark E. Smith is the only constant. The longest-term musicians are drummers Paul Hanley and Carl Burns. Guitarists Mark Riley, Craig Scanlon, and Brix Smith, and bassist Steve Hanley, and they began in 1976. They were at first seen as punk. Changes in the lineup caused them to evolve. Their initial influences include Can, the Velvet Underground, Captain Beefheart, the Monks, the Stooges, and they also cite H.P. Lovecraft. After seeing the Sex Pistols, they went home and started a band. How many is that now? They were going to call the band Rectum, or The Rectum. The Fall was taken over after an Albert Camus novel from 1956. They had no money and no drum kit. Una Bonds played by bashing biscuit tins, and then she switched to keyboards. The music was raw and unashamedly repetitive. 77 to 78 saw drastic changes. Kay Carroll became the band's manager and occasional backing vocalist, and Smith's girlfriend. Frell left to form another band called The Passage. That's the name of a book too. Eric the Ferret replaced him. Eric the Ferret. Baines left because of a drug OD, replaced by Yvonne Paulette. McGann quit because he didn't like the gig van driver's colorful shirt. Roadie Mark Riley was promoted to bass. The EP Bingo Masters Breakout was released in 78 on Step Forward Records. Right after, they recorded their debut LP live at the Witch Trials in one day. It was released in 79, and then Burns left, replaced by Mike Lee from Rockin' Ricky, a cabaret band. Martin Brahma, who was co-writer for most of the songs, also left, and went on to form Blue Orchids with Una Baines. Blue Orchids, that's a nice name for a band, isn't it? Mark Riley switched from bass to guitar. Craig Scanlon and Steve Hanley joined. Hanley's melodic bass line would help define the band's evolution. The second LP, Dragnet, was in August of 79, and it's sparser and more jagged than Witch Trials. That means there's less music, and what's left can maim you if you get too close. Smith is the boss. Now, his girlfriend will back me up on this. Mike Lee went back to the cabaret circuit. That doesn't mean he moved to Germany to play with Liza Minnelli, old chum. Paul Hanley he was still in high school at age 16. The Fall left Step Forward and signed with Rough Trade. The third album was grotesque. Nah, it was fine. No, that was the name of the LP. It went to 1980 and went in 1980. The production was improved, but Smith chose to leave Rough Trade and sign with a smaller indie label, Chimera. In 1982, Hexenduxian Hour was out. It was somewhat less grotty, and Mark Riley was given the sack due to a fist fight, I'm guessing with Smith. Brick Smith joined on guitar. She would give the band fashion tips and write catchy pop songs and marry Smith. And how will that work out? Perverted by Language was the Fall's last album for their Rough Trade contract. The Bricks years were actually a favorite period for critics and fans. There were some modest hit singles. Paul Hanley left and Simon Wozencroft took over on drums. He would go on to write a tell-all book about his 11 years with The Fall. Bricks left in 1989, both from the band and from the marriage to Smith. This is wearing me out. I'll just close with Smith performing in a wheelchair and died in 2018. Quite a story, and there's always more. Over 30 studio albums. Smith was one of the hardest working alcoholics we've ever seen. Thank you. What do you think of The Fall? It's not hard to play these songs, so I'll give him that. Who are we gonna do? Next up, Apocalypse Orchestra. Hopefully that doesn't mean that the world's coming to an end. But you know, actually, every night when you go to sleep, the world comes to an end as we know it. See you next time.